And we're back. We're back. I'm back. It's another day. I managed to get a little bit more sleep. Enough to reset the ears and brain. Got up. Ate a piece of toast and a boiled egg. And gave the mix down a listen through these. Got them on sale. iRiver. iRiver, it's a popular brand in Korea. iRiver, IBH-NC300. They got noise cancellation, which seems kind of like a bit of a scam. Because with the noise cancellation circuit off, they're just super noisy. They're unusable without the noise cancellation circuit on. So it's like, I don't know. What did they do? Did they make them super noisy by default so that you need the noise cancellation circuit for them to sound, well, I guess they sound better than, yeah, there is some real noise cancellation going on, but they sound rumbly and just not very good with there's a little green LED light indicating that the noise cancellation circuit is on. Anyway, I got them because I think they're a good representation of what a lot of people, the consumer market, the kind of thing that many, if not most, people are listening to things through. There's no some earphones nowadays, they come with like apps in your phone that will give you various EQ options. This is not one of those. It's just the response curve. It emphasizes bass, certain bands and bass and low mids that are very popular in contemporary sound. It's just, I think it's a fair representation of what a lot of people are going to be hearing when they listen. Not that that's the be all and end all to my decisions, but it's good to have that kind of reference. So I listened to it through those, and it's getting there, but it's a bit heavy. Bass energy is a bit heavy on the left and right. And so I made the decision, or I took the decision to go ahead and maybe clear that up a little bit. More clarity, more focus by, well, at the very least, attenuating bass energy on the left and right, but maybe even reallocating that energy and pushing it toward the middle. I'll show you what I mean by that visually. Okay, now here is a tool called Span by Voxengo. Voxengo Span. The Voxengo guy is known as a horrible human being amongst certain cliques in the, certain communities because he's a bigot. Literally a Nazi. Okay. I'm a fan of his tools. I like his tools a lot. And so this is a spectrum frequency analyzer and correlation meter. The horizontal axis is the frequency spectrum from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. And the horizontal axis, did I say horizontal axis? I can never remember which one is X and which one is Y. Is X the horizontal axis? I'll just say horizontal and vertical axes. Horizontal axis is your frequency spectrum. Vertical axis is gain or volume, loudness, from minus 78 dB on the digital scale up to, scroll up a little bit, up to plus 6.3. 0 is our ceiling, generally speaking. All right. So what does this look like?
Well, there can be no doubt now. The knives are all out.
So the pale pea green, that's your side image, left and right. And the darker green is the mid image, center. And you're about to hear what that means. So once again, you can see that down here in the bass frequencies, the side image is quieter than the mid image, which is what we want. We want that all across the frequency spectrum, okay? But we especially want that side image to be lower than the mid image, more so in the bass to low mids. Depends on the genre, depends on, it depends on everything, including your own taste, but this is the general principle. So, okay, I thought there might be someone saying hello, so I thought I'd check. How you doing there, Mozart? Another beautiful summer day. And you said you were working all weekend, so you getting the day off there today, sir? This is not going to go on too long. I'm just explaining something called mid-side processing and why we do it and why I took the decision to do it. At this point, I'm starting to see I'm rounding the curve into the home stretch on this. And so how you doing, man? I'm going to just carry on while I just tell me whatever. But you see how right here at around 100 hertz, okay, and in that general area, it's just I want the light green, I want more of a gap between light green and dark green, okay. So I've got different tools that I can use for this. Now I can apply these tools in individual channels, or I can do a blanket processing in the mix bus, the master bus. That's the approach that I'm going to take today, for reasons. Not least of which is that most of these tracks are frozen, and And I can't think of, well, I can think of maybe one or two individual tracks that I might do that to, but it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. It's much more effective just to go ahead and put it in the mix bus, the master bus, which is where all of these 23 tracks, all signals from all 23 tracks are being funneled into the master bus for final processing through these plugins, these tools at the very end. Okay, now, another thing I woke up to this morning was Air Windows creator Chris just came out with a new tool. It's actually an update to a pre-existing tool called Mastering, and this one's called Mastering 2. Chris has it's not that Chris has anything. It's just kind of uncanny how I will just have just made a mixing or mastering decision, and virtually at the same time, Chris will come out with a new tool that seems exactly specifically addressed to that very decision, and this is no exception. So mastering is all right, Console X, which I've been using for final mixing, EQing that's not technically EQing, using something called Kalman filters. This mastering plugin is just a kind of a final sort of just final fine adjustment, like polishing. It's also based on Kalman filters. He re-released it with a mid-side processing component called Elliptical. Okay. So, well, one thing I forgot to do before I started the stream here was I need to go and update my Air Windows Consolidated Toolkit so that I can use this new plugin. If Chris hasn't found a way to block me from... He must have heard about what a bigot I am by this point. We'll see. Airwindows.com. Chris is very woke. He's a nice man. Well, I say no man is good, but as men go, like he has a kind heart, and I respect his intelligence. All right, consolidated plugin is here. I'm going to click that, and it looks different from the way that it used to. Update to latest Air Windows. Update to latest Air Windows. There we go. All right, this should do it. Windows 64-bit setup. I'm going to click that. And save, of course. Then get into my download folder. And there it is. There's the installer, double click. Yes, run anyway. Yes. Accept, next, install. Oh, okay. I better quit cakewalk. So there's cakewalk. Nope. Install. Oh, OBS. Well, I'm not going to restart OBS. All right. OBS will have to wait for next time. Okay. Well, if I don't have the new tool available in Cakewalk yet, then it's not the end of the world or anything. Let's just see. There we go. The name of the tool is Mastering 2. Now, I had meant to, as long as I was putting in the mid-side processing tool, I was going to go ahead and insert mastering while I was at it. So now, like I said, this timing of these things is uncanny. Now I've just got both in one. At least that's the idea here. So insert audio effects and air windows, consolidated. There's our consolidated toolkit and utility. Monitoring. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's under subtlety. Mastering. Okay. Well, I didn't get it. Why does OBS have to be? Well, just I'm working on my I'm just feeling extreme annoyance at little things. It's not good, those cartons of milk, the kind that you don't have to refrigerate them. They've got a shelf life of like 1 year. They come in like a special kind of carton. I guess they're like ultra high pasteurized or something. And for some reason, a lot of the brands seem to come from Poland. It seems like Poland makes really tasty milk, at least here in Korea. And I like to stock up on things in general. I like to stock up on milk that way. It comes in this carton with a twist top, like a twist cap on the top. And, it's like break out a new carton, twist off the cap, and just like in picking it up to pour it, you got to like apply some grip pressure and just to be able to pick it up. And I apply just enough grip pressure to overcome gravity to pick it up off the counter, and the cardboard sides just kind of go boop, and it just shoots milk all over the place. And I'm standing there in such a state of just such profound irritation, which is so stupid and meaningless, and it's energy that just doesn't go anywhere. And it's only going to get worse as the weather gets hotter and more humid. So I'm already like, I'm on it. I'm watching it. I'm observing it. That's that meditation that I spoke of the other day. And I feel, to a much lesser extent than the milk incident. I'm just like, this plugin has nothing whatsoever to do with OBS. Nothing at all to do with OBS. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. It has really zero importance. But the irritation is still there. There is like really, really deep irritation bordering on anger. Which is unpleasant. It's an unpleasant feeling. But I'm not egging it on. I'm not clinging to it. I'm not pushing it away. I'm just observing it. It's still there. It hasn't really gone anywhere. It's just sitting there. And, you know, like there's a 14-year-old like swearing up a storm right now. And it's ridiculous, but there it is. Okay. Well, I'm not going to bother with mastering right now. I'm just going to go for, let's just focus on mid-side. And so I'm going to have two candidates. And one is called elliptical. Here in Air Windows, elliptical. It's under bass, okay. And I'm going to put that, man, where should I put it? Definitely before the limiter. Either before the tape emulator or after. And which one, I'm not sure. I'm just going to start with after. Probably I won't be able to hear any difference, but okay, this is the first candidate, elliptical. I might end up using both of these. Just depends on how it sounds. The other one is isotope ozone 11, and I'm going to put that in the same place, same position. They're side by side, but I'm going to start with ozone 11. This is an EQ with mid-side capabilities, and that's what this. Here's what this means.
Shall we eat together at 1 o'clock?
What?
Shall we eat 1?
Okay. I got to switch from analog to digital, and here I select mid-side. Now I've got a mid curve and I've got a mid image curve and I've got a side image curve. Both are flat. And just as a preliminary maneuver, on my mid curve, I'm going to drag this down and this is what's technically called a high pass. Now, below this border, the curve is continuing to go down, although you can't see it. Okay, it's not showing it, but it does continue to attenuate. All right. It's just important to note that you can choose not to attenuate it that much. You don't have to like completely cut it out. You can set it to taste, okay? But I'm going to start with a roll off around 80 dB, okay? Or no, not my mid. Okay, brain fart. Okay, side. On my side image. Sorry if I confused you there for a second. Yeah, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to roll it off to about, what is that going to be? Well, whatever that is, probably like minus 12. Minus 12, rolling off around 100. Right here. Okay. And on my mids, I'm going to leave that the way, because the when I look at Voxengo span, I look at the spectrum analyzer, the bass frequencies are pretty well behaved to begin with. Okay, there's like no major horrible issues with the bass frequencies to begin with, so I don't see any need to just go cutting bass frequencies from the mids, or I mean from the mid at this point. However, I'm going to roll off some of the high mids to trebles, just to see what it sounds like. Actually, I'm going to do a combination. I'm going to roll it off to like -2 in the mid, and in the side, I'm actually going to do a little bit of a boost. Whoops. Okay. I want a high shelf. No. Come on. There we go. Nothing too pronounced. But you see how I've got those more or less sort of inverted. Okay? So this is what I'm starting with. And I'm going to hit playback. I'm going to start up span again. And maybe this gives us a visual reference for what's going on. And then over here, I can bypass and engage the ozone plugin that we were just looking at, just to A/B it. And we can see, we'll find out if the change is visually reflected in the spectrum analyzer. So we'll start with it off. Ozone is off. And now on. See that?
Well, there can be no doubt now. The knives are all out now, and the devil, he's done playing nice. And there's no use pretending it all
right, now.
will soon be ending.
Right there.
Whether by fire
Right there. I was
or
wrong. I spoke too early. This.
and the light proves a curse as the shadow.
Okay, what's going on there around, let's say, the 50 to 80 hertz range? Peaking around the 60 hertz range. Probably that's kick and or bass. But hey man, how you doing? I don't know if you got my comment. I enjoyed your band practice yesterday. That was a lot of fun. You guys are tight. That's impressive. And not to take away any shine off of the other two of you, but that's quite the drummer you got there. You're fortunate. Like, yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I was on a shopping trip with the missus, and I just got to sit in the movie theater lobby area of the mall in a massage chair while she did her shopping and just watching your practice. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, he's good, man. Well, yeah, he's great. Yeah. Like, I'm learning kit these days. Just enough to be able to lay down parts like this for this song, you know? And well, writing my own bass parts and playing my own bass parts gave me a newfound respect for bass players, which I always had anyway. And then, just like the more you try to do something, the more appreciation you have for people that can actually do it to any degree of skill and aplomb. So you guys are great, man. Like I struggled to. I mean, I don't like doing it, but something that we kind of do anyway is we tend to make comparisons, as if we're all a bunch of like as musicians, as though we were like sommeliers or something, right? But I really don't know. Maybe I just don't know enough about metal, but it is a certain style. The guitar players, those, okay, what would you call them? Arpeggiated riffs. A lot of arpeggiated riffs. And the call and response thing, it's hard to talk. It's like there was definitely, like, I would say I've never been like a metal aficionado, okay? But like I was a fan of early Metallica when I was a kid. And there was some kind of like Kill 'Em All era energy in there, I would say. And some other things as well. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. I think my favorite one was the one about the alien abduction. Was it called Abduction? I think that was my favorite one. So, yeah, kudos, man. Kudos. That's awesome to hear. Thrash punk, black metal, yeah. Abducted, yeah. Well, it's something I have an interest in. Kind of a long story. That's a topic of interest to me. So, but there's also, you guys are just like having fun at the same time. It's like there's a bit of like there's a tongue-in-cheek element to it, and you're having fun, and I don't know. It's kind of cinematic in a way. Cinematic is another word that I might use. But if I was in the area, I'd be at the show, teetotaling up there near the front, egging you guys on. All right, I'm trying not to go on too long with this because I got a lunch date with the missus. And just a little bit of mid-side processing. And what I was about to do is, so I don't know if you just chimed in, you can see that. So wait a minute. This one I don't want that on. Okay, I'm using Ozone 11. Here's my mid curve. Here's my side curve, and this is Voxengo Span. There's my spectrum analyzer. I'm just like seeing how much of a visual reference I can get for what's going on. And so that's off.
Well, there can be no doubt now. The knives are
Okay, so I'm just going to do some on-the-fly adjustment. Oh, wait a minute. That's mid-side. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm just going to do some...
Well, there can be no doubt now. The knives are all out now, and the
That's what I would call better behaved.
Just pretending it all won't soon be ending, whether by fire or ice. And the light proves a curse as the shadows disperse and the horsemen go mounting their steeds.
The mids are pretty balanced, but I'm looking at right around 1,000 hertz.
Salvation was the last thing that anyone.
I would say both could use a little bit of a boost.
And it may seem an odd thing to whisper to God, but I think
You can hear that snare come out a little bit more.
right. If there's no turning around the world that is hellbound, and I'm praying for the meteorite.
I got a word of knowledge, a word of prophecy, and I want you preacher to use this word of prophecy ever, whithersoever you go.
You can hear that ride cymbal
God's gonna put a kick
a little better.
in the butthole. God's gonna put a kick
All right.
in the butthole of every sodomite. Every sodomite.
The sides are a little bit excessive, around 3,000 to 4,000.
Cancer in the butthole. Right there. It'll burn and burn and burn. You'll have to, the manufacturer will have to go into manufacturing chairs where people can stand up because they won't be able to sit down because of the burning in their butthole. Every sodomite. That way we'll know it's a sodomite because we can't sit down.
Ready as paper to flash into vapor should it come screaming down from above. Such a small price to pay for just even one day without perversions I won't sing of. Lest I sully this song with an endlessly long litany of degenerate blight. They all spit in God's eye, and so that is why I am praying for the meteorite. In heavenly silence and with divine violence, I picture it hurtling through space, heading straight for the earth with all that fate is worth, and with preternatural
You got a place, you got that special asbestos diaper. When God gets through with the sodomite, this is the word of the Lord. This is the prophecy of Almighty God. This is the Lord. This is the Lord. And Pastor, if you are a sodomite, God's going to have a flame coming out of your butthole. You're going to need an asbestos diaper. You better go and praise to God and ask God to heal you before this word cools down. You better ask God to heal you, and then you'll tell God, I'm going to preach against every sodomite. I'm going to preach against the sodomite maker, Barack Hussein Obama, the son of Satan. I'm going to become a sodomite slayer, like David Manson did out of New York City. I'm going to become a sodomite slayer. Otherwise, you're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole.
them stricken and speechless, laid low in their lurid zeitgeist.
Okay, pause. Okay, well, thanks for your feedback as well, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah, the ride, it wasn't audible at all when I first, it's something I've been kind of working on as I go. And that crash at the end of that second solo section there's something going on. There's a spazzing out of some kind. I'm not sure. It's right around here. right there.
Been stricken.
There's like, I don't know, something's dropping out. Something's not quite right there, but I'll come back to it. I think that overall, and I see it reflected in the, in span, that I've got, again, it wasn't a big problem, but I can tell listening to my very popular consumer grade headphones that it's just going to sound more focused with more clarity if I do some of this. And of course, also, like, if this was ever played through a big sound system, it's going to make it better in that situation also. And I think that's about it for this. Oh. Okay, well, have a good night. Yeah, well, you're in the Chicago area. We are, let's see, we're, I think, 13 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. And even further ahead of Mountain Time, which is where my parents live. So it could be like 14 hours ahead of you. Anyway, have a good sleep. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the kind words. And I'll see you on the flip side, sir. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, I wanted to try something on the Meteorite. Thank you, sir. And you as well. I'm glad I found your channel. Have a good sleep. All right, the Meteorite. Actually, I'm hot. It's hot. It's humid. I'm starting to sweat, and I'm irritable and cranky, and I kind of did what I came here to do, and the long-suffering missus will be most appreciative if I'm not late for lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a stream and end it here. And I'll be back in several hours. Lord willing and the creek don't rise, as Jesse likes to say. God bless you wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, within reason, of course. Been Lean Bear from lovely, scenic Padre City, South Korea, a mere 5 kilometers from the closest border crossing. Right. Over and out.